Welcome to the 5 for 2 podcast with me, your host Adele, where we say no to careers where you're trading 5 days of misery for 2 days of fun. A place we discuss all things career, confidence, and money moves. I want to motivate, teach, and empower ambitious women to achieve more, earn more, feel more confident, and enjoy the work they do. It's all about believing you can have everything you want in your career and then going and getting it. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Hello and welcome. Hope you're all good. And I want to welcome some of my new listeners because I can see that we've got a few new people listening regularly. So welcome, welcome, welcome. You know from the title of this episode what we're already talking about. And can I just say, firstly, that it is a travesty, a miscarriage of justice that we are not negotiating. How are we here in 2024 and we are still not negotiating? I thought we agreed that we would leave that in 2023. With all the videos I share, all the content I write, all the podcast episodes you guys have listened to where I'm telling you to stop discounting yourself and your services, because it doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur or you're in a 9-to-5, you are selling services. People pay you for your services. They pay you for the work that you do. If you are not getting what you deserve, you need to negotiate. If they are not offering you the money that you deserve, you need to negotiate. If you're applying for jobs that are below what you want, that's a whole nother conversation. Today, we are focusing on why you're not negotiating, how you can get better at negotiating, and why it's okay to negotiate even when you're changing career. Even when you're going into a whole new industry, it is still okay. So guys, let's jump into it. I recently shared this story on socials about a young girl that I interviewed a few years ago. She came to us as like an entry-level intern / student. It was going to be her first job. She hadn't had a job before or anything like that. She'd only studied and been a student. This was going to be her first role at our office. And she came into the interview. And I remember her because I felt like she was dressed too casually. Because, younger generation, sometimes they don't get the whole, you need to dress a bit smarter. Also, I think times have changed and people do go to interviews in Converse and stuff, which I find really weird. I'm just clearly an old lady. But hey, the old lady in me wants you to wear nice shoes and smart clothes, almost like a church outfit. If you attend church, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, first interview. And at the end, I really liked her. And I decided I was going to offer. I often knew straight after interview who I was going to offer, even before seeing other candidates sometimes. And the truth of the matter is, my best hires have been people that I knew on the spot. Even if I didn't offer them right there and then, I knew on the spot. I offered them either that day or the next day. I just did the thing where you're supposed to wait a couple of days and then, sent them the offer. Or in some cases, I just couldn't wait and I offered them within an hour of them leaving. Because I know what I like and I know who's going to fit in. And I know what I'm looking for when I'm interviewing. So I don't like wasting people's time. If I think you're great and I think there's something for you, I'm probably going to offer it. And I know some of you are listening and saying, oh, but Adele, what if someone else comes along and they're really great too? Then I'm going to have to figure it out. And everyone's going to have to get a job. I don't know. But I've been lucky enough that does not necessarily happen to me. On rare occasion, I've had two people that I really love. And then what happens is I will negotiate with my boss to be able to get both of them and then see who works out. Because 90% of the time, one of them's going to drop out. Someone's not going to say yes. Or you know how it goes. Anyway, that just shows you that I will negotiate anything. I digress. Let me get back to the story. This lovely girl, I really liked her, wanted to make the offer, made the offer. When I offered her the job, one of the first things she said was, I'm really excited. I really liked meeting you. The energy, the vibe you gave me was great. But I wanted to ask if you would consider offering me more than standard student pay. That's what we were offering at the time, the standard, UK student pay. And I smiled and I said, what makes you feel like you should be getting more? And without hesitation, I think before I even finished my sentence, she had started to lay out why she deserved more than the standard student amount. She talks about things that she'd done in school, her personal life, her personality, and the results that she believed she'd be able to deliver, even though she hadn't done the job before. She answered questions that I was going to ask, like, well, you've not done the work before, so how would you know? She answered them in her pitch without me needing to ask them. The end of her pitch, not only was I insanely impressed because this is a young person, a student who has never had a job before and who said to me this was like her second interview or something like that. The fact that she had the balls to ask, that confidence is next level. Listen, confidence doesn't have to be born, you don't have to be born with confidence. You can build confidence. But that confidence that she had came from somewhere else. That came from deep down in her soul, in her spirit. That is some God given confidence because I've never seen anything like it. And then the pitch was actually very good. I asked her how much she wanted and she told me. I told her I wasn't going to be able to give her that, but I would offer her more and a lot more than what we were originally offering. And the funny thing is, she probably did that thing that I teach my clients to do, where you ask for way more than you actually want. Because when I told her the amount that I was willing to agree on, she was so happy. She was like, I'll see you on Monday. What time do you want me in? And I also remember she negotiated a review. She said, can I get a review on what you've agreed in 8 weeks? No, she actually said in 4 weeks. I said 8 weeks. And she said, if I'm doing really well, because I feel like I'm a really quick learner, I feel like I'm going to pick this up really quickly. If I'm doing really well, will you like have a look and reconsider? And also she'd even said, and if there was a more like, even though I'm a student, if there was more like a higher level role in the future, would I be considered for it? Listen, she was good, guys. She was just, my mouth was on the floor, like my jaw dropped. She was good. And I agreed. I agreed to the higher pay and I agreed to the 8-week review. Now, unfortunately, we never got to that 8-week review because it was around the time of the pandemic. And about 4 or 5 weeks later, pandemic hit and we all had to not work from the office and the office closed and just things happened after that point. We could no longer have the student because she needed to be in work to be able to fulfill the requirements of her study. And obviously she was new, so there was no way she could work from home because she needed like constant support. The thing was, what she had been trained on in that time she had been there, she was excellent. I could already see the level, the work ethic, the level that she was bringing to the table. And what we did because of it was we only had to give like a week's notice. We gave more notice than we needed to, and we paid her. She was that good. She stood on business. I keep hearing that everywhere. I had to say it. She stood on business, guys. She said, this is what I'm going to be able to do. This is what I'm bringing to the table. And then guess what? She delivered it. And I'm saying all this to say that if someone who's a student can negotiate and ask for more, why are us grown women having all this hesitation around negotiating? And also, you only need one yes. We run around stressing that, okay, this person said no and this person said no. And what if I get a no and I'm getting all these, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many rejections you're getting. It doesn't matter how many no's you've heard. You only need one yes. That's it. You just need one yes. When I changed industry, I remember like I got 2 yeses, thankfully, but I also got a no, a big fat no. Like she made me cry. Told this story before, you've heard it already. But you only need one yes. That student had gone on another interview and then our interview. I was the one who said yes. She only needed one yes. She got the yes. Whenever you ask for something, there's a 50-50 chance it's a yes or a no, but it's nothing else. As adults, we convince ourselves that getting that no is like the end of the world and we're going to live in a cardboard box. Like we go to worst case scenario. Like usually that no just means you're in the same place you were in the first place. You're no better off and you're no worse off. You're exactly where you are right now. So when you go and ask someone a question, nothing's changed in your life. You just a no, and it didn't necessarily feel good. But you are still thriving, doing well because you're still in your current job. You're still doing all the things that you're already doing. Nothing has changed. You just got to know. So bear that in mind. You just need one yes. You just need to impress. And you just need the confidence. That level of confidence will open doors for you that everything else, all the qualifications in the world, all the experience in the world, all the expertise in the world won't open the same doors that level of confidence will. I hope that story also helps you to realize that when you change industry, you do not have to take a pay cut. I only agree with pay cuts when they are strategic. I only agree with pay cuts when you do what that student did and you say, right, if I start now In 4 weeks, will you review my salary? Or in 8 weeks, will you review my salary? In 12 weeks, will you review my salary? Work out what works for you. Will you review my salary? And agree the points that are going to make them give you the pay rise. So what do I need to do in the next 12 weeks for you to give me that money that I'm asking for? Yes, that's what you need to do. What do I need to do in the next 4, 8, or 12 weeks, whatever the agreement is, for you to pay me that money? Then guess what? You need to do those things and do them in advance. Do them well before the deadline so that you make sure there are no grounds for you not to get your money. Also, when you negotiate, make sure you get everything in writing. Don't let anyone give you lip service. Ever. That student, when we agreed to everything, she was so excited. She ran off, left the office, was just happy. I called her later and said to her, listen, next time you get an offer like that, make sure you ask the person to send it to you in writing. Because I wanted her to know for future. Like, I'm a woman of my word, but a lot of these companies are not. So make sure you get it in writing. The truth is, you don't need to negotiate from a lower salary when you walk into the job on the salary that you want. You walk into the job without having to compromise like your salary just because you're changing industry. Because the truth is, during a career change, you are not selling experience because you don't have any. Let's be real. So you're not selling experience, you are selling expertise. And a lot of you are going to say to me, how? I don't have any expertise in that industry. What? Go back and listen to Identity Work, the episode I did with Grace, because she talks about this and I love the way she puts it. So go back and listen to her. But for today, my view on it, expertise has nothing to do with an industry. Nothing at all. I'm an expert at motivating other people. I'm an expert at inspiring people into action. I feel like I'm an expert at communicating. Other people might disagree, but I think I'm great at it. I know I'm an expert problem solving. And it comes from a little bit of laziness. I like to have to do 20 things if I can figure out a way to do 2 things to get the same result. Simple as that. That's why I didn't go back to school when I decided I wanted to change industry. I refused to get another qualification because I'm not about to spend another 3 years. Absolutely not. I refused to volunteer because I just don't have the time. I'm a mum, had a child to look after, 18-month-old. Like any mums listening, you know how 18-month-olds are. My relationship was hanging on a thread. So I was basically a single mum already, or I was about to be a single mum. And yeah, I just didn't have time working full time, looking after a child. And Jen, you want me to go back and study? Absolutely not. I also was not staying in that job any longer. And I wanted a whole different industry to be in. So I will find the quickest route to anything. So like I said, your expertise has nothing to do with your industry. I just said to you guys, I'm an expert at inspiring people into action. Guess what? That makes me a great manager in my 9 to 5. That also makes me a great career coach. But sometimes people just need to kick up the arse. Yes, they need to know this is how you do it. Try this instead of this. There's a better way to do it. Let's work on your confidence. But also sometimes they know what they should be doing and they need someone to hold them accountable and say, let's get it done. Let's go. They need someone to motivate them. Guess what? My teams need that too. Whether I was teaching and I was running teams and I was managing teams and I was like the head and I was in charge and I was the nursery manager and I needed to get my team all on board so that we all had one common goal. Or whether that was when I was a director in a recruitment company, delivering high figures in a business model that they had never seen those type of numbers before. It didn't matter the industry because I am an expert. You too are an expert. Being good with people is being good with people, regardless of industry. Being great at reports and tech is being great at reports and tech, regardless of industry. If you're a good communicator, you're just a good communicator. Professionally, personally, you're just good. So you are an expert. Create your identity, decide your identity, and don't let other people tell you your identity. What are you great at? Pay attention to what people rely on you for, what people come to you for, and you're always helping them and you don't even realize you're doing it. Pay attention to what comes easily for you. How are you delivering results at work? Because whether you believe it or not, they're not paying you just to be in the building. You are doing something for them. They are benefiting. What skills are you using for their benefit, basically? When you change career, you are not selling experience, you are selling expertise. And when you negotiate during a career change, that is what you are negotiating for. And to be honest, even if you're not changing career, when you go for interview, nobody knows if you're going to be good or not. They don't know until you start and actually are good. So no matter what, whether we change industry or we stay in the same industry, we are always selling potential. We are telling them, this is the potential I have. This is what I believe that my potential is, and this is what I'm selling to you. And if you believe me, you're going to give me the job. And if you don't believe me, you're not going to give me the job. It is literally that simple. Even if I have all the experience in the world, doesn't mean I'm good. Might be one of them people, them average people or below average people that you don't even know half the time how they kept their job or how they even got their job. You know why? It's because in the interview, they sold potential. They are good salespeople. And they sold potential and it was believed and they got the job. The most experienced person doesn't get the job. The person who is the best at selling themselves at interview is the one. It's the same way when you were in school. I'm sure there's people that knew someone who was so good and always got A's and stuff, but for some reason at exams, they always choked. I knew a girl who was a straight A student. All the teachers were like, oh my gosh, she's going to smash her GCSEs. And I think all that pressure broke her because at GCSE, she crumbled. I had never seen this girl fail at anything in all the 5 years I was in high school. And then she crumbled. I felt so bad for her. I remember hugging her because she was in tears when we got our results. And then there's me, who was not a straight A student, who wasn't even a straight B student. I got a nice line of grades. Why? Because like I said earlier, sometimes I'm a bit lazy. Minimum effort, maximum results. And I don't care. I will stand on that. If I can find a way to get maximum results with minimum effort, I will. And I make no apologies for it. If you want to do 20 things to get the same result that I will get by doing 2 things, that's on you. Listen, as a woman, and especially as a woman of color, I have had to jump through certain hoops, do backflips, do the splits, do everything just to get certain things. So if I can find a way where I don't have to do that, I'm going to take it every single time. And guys, you can probably tell I'm very hyped recording this episode. One of the reasons is because it popped into my head and I just grabbed my microphone, grabbed my computer and started recording. Because I was like, we need to talk about the fact that it's the start of a new year and we are still not negotiating. We are still going for these jobs. And yes, we're getting excited by offers, but we are still accepting offers with money way lower than we want. And guess what's going to happen? In 2 months' time after you've accepted that offer, you're going to resent the job because you're going to realize I'm doing all this work. I should have asked for more money. And this is why, if we are not getting offered what we want, we need to negotiate. And even when we do get exactly what we want, you can still try your luck. I'm the queen of trying my luck. So even if, say, you want 80K, they offer you 80K. They even offer you 83K. And you're like, yes, I'm 3K above what I wanted. Why can't you still negotiate? Why can't you have the conversation? I'm really excited about this offer. I cannot wait to join the team and do X, Y, Z. I wondered if there was any room for negotiation. I know originally I had said to you that I was looking for 80K, but now understanding the full scope of the role and the fact that you need me to come into the office 3 times a week, and I've had other positions that were fully remote, is there an opportunity that we could look at like 87,000? Why can't we? And yes, you can rip off that speech, rewind, listen back, take notes. If that's what you need, you can rip that off. But that's just one way. That was off the top of my head. That was just one way of negotiating. There are so many other ways you can negotiate, but you can always try your luck. Whether it is a career change or not, you can negotiate. So here, I want to give you some quick tips on how to ask for more. First and foremost, because I'm going to say it because I've got to get your confidence up. When you believe it, everyone else around you believes it. And the way you can get your confidence up is research your number. Like around when it comes to negotiating, the way you can get your confidence up around negotiating is start off by researching the numbers. What's a normal pay in the industry that you're in or that you're moving into? What's normal pay for the role that you're going for? Speak to people. Reach out to people already doing the role you're interested in, already doing the role you've applied for, or in the industry that you're interested in moving into. Ask them. Nothing beats real people, real facts. Have a conversation. Ask those people, what should I be asking for? What's the pay? Having understanding of an industry and a role and what type of money there is gives you more of a boost because you're like, oh, okay, I'm not crazy. I should be asking for more. Oh, this is the level that that people are getting paid. This is normal. Do your research on whether small companies, big companies, like, is there a difference? Like, is it that you're going to need to apply for much bigger, well-known brands versus smaller companies? Or is it, like in my experience in certain industries, smaller little boutique versions of companies will offer you better things? Like, I've worked for like boutique agencies, boutique sort of like companies that and done recruitment for them, and they paid me better than some of the bigger names. Or even if they didn't pay me better, I was able to negotiate other things like way more paid annual leave and things like that. And that in itself is a pay rise. As far as I'm concerned, if you go from 28 days paid annual leave to 40 days paid annual leave, so I'm going to be off 40 days a year and get paid, that's a pay rise. You can't tell me it's not. Also, identify your money making skills. If you want to build your confidence, identify your money making skills. How are you helping your company? How are you contributing to that bottom line? How are you contributing at work? What is everyone coming to you for? What are you praised for? What do they rely on you for? How are you getting the results that you get? How are you making the money, saving the money? How are you getting new customers in? How are you increasing brand awareness for your company? Like if you're a social media person, or just in general, even if you're a waitress, you can influence the reach and the brand in your company. If you don't know how, come and speak to me, because my clients, I show them how their skills are valuable. We talk about the value in their skills because that will help boost your confidence. When you actually realize what you contribute at work, it's a game changer. Consistently think about who is benefiting from your work ethic. A lot of us have this work ethic where we work really hard. We won't leave until a job's done. Like even if I finish at 5:30, I have no pressure to stay behind. Like, I don't have bosses that like are like, you have to stay behind. No, my bosses will be like, Adele, log off, go home. Why are you still online? I get those messages often, especially on days where I'm in the flow of something. If I am in the flow of something, I will keep working because I want to get it done that day. And that work ethic alone is why I should be paid. Because it means that a lot of the time I get a lot of projects done way ahead of time. My work ethic, the way I will support other people and support teams and do things, even if it's outside my job description without being asked, because I feel like if I see someone struggling, I'm going to support you. That work ethic, think about yours. Think about how you benefit, other people benefit from your work ethic. Next thing I want you to do, once you start working on your confidence, is remind yourself why you want it. Why do you want that money? Why do you deserve that money? Give your money a purpose. Like, is it for your lifestyle? Is it for investment? Is it for just freedom and options? Now, once you've figured out why you want it, it will make it easier in your brain when you're negotiating because you're going to be like, you know what? These bills need to be paid on top of, I still have investments that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to buy properties. Let me go and ask for this money. Let me feel uncomfortable. Even if I feel uncomfortable for 5 minutes, I'm willing to feel uncomfortable because the things I want in life are not going to pay for themselves. Unfortunately, the world is not free. And the more money you have, the more options you have. As well as giving your money a purpose, remind yourself why you deserve it. And that goes back to what I was talking about in the confidence thing. Identify your money-making skills. Why do you deserve it? You have to work every day. Great. But that's not a reason to deserve it. You deserve it because of what you bring to the table. Be very clear on everything. The more evidence you can have in your mind and of what you bring to the table, the more confident you'll become and the more willing you will just naturally want to ask for more money. Practice makes progress. It's the last tip I want to give you. Practice makes progress. The more you do something, the better you get at it. That 5K negotiation that you managed to do for yourself today could be 30K next time. Yes, it might feel awkward and hard to negotiate the first time you do it. Everything does. First time you got in a car, I bet it wasn't easy. I remember when they started saying, put your foot on the clutch. What's the clutch? Sir, I don't know what you're asking me. Turn the wheel, move the clutch, move the gear stick. Too much going on. I was petrified. Practice makes progress. I now drive on autopilot, like literally. Practice makes progress and practice makes perfect. The more and more you do something, the better you will get at it. The reason I said practice makes progress rather than practice makes perfect. Oh my gosh, try saying all those P's. It was a lot. The reason I said it like that is because the more you practice, the more progress you make. The more progress you make, you'll eventually perfect it. So like I said, practice. And a bonus tip, get used to being uncomfortable. Because I know that no one wants to go back and forth about money. I hate going back and forth with anyone about money. I don't want to negotiate. This is coming from me, the one who's telling you to negotiate. This whole episode's about negotiating. I hate going back and forth with someone on something I think I deserve. If I think I deserve 80K and you're like, I want to pay you 73, I hate having to go back and forth and tell someone why you need to pay me what I'm asking you for. However, I am willing to do it because my lifestyle requires it, because I know what I want from life. I deserve it because I know why I deserve it. I've done the research and I know my market value. So I'll go back and forth with you and I will feel uncomfortable because, to be honest with you guys, I know you probably listen to me, you think, Adele's fine with confrontation. I absolutely hate confrontation. And negotiating feels like confrontation to me. So I don't like it inside. I'm like, however, I will make myself uncomfortable for those 5 minutes because I will not be uncomfortable when I'm spending that money. I am not uncomfortable when I'm living my lifestyle, when I'm traveling 5 times a year, when I'm able to support my daughter, when I can say yes to experiences and opportunities and investments because I was uncomfortable for 5 minutes. Your discomfort is not a reason not to do something, especially knowing that discomfort for 5 minutes is going to get you into the comfort of having exactly what you wanted and the money that you deserved. I really enjoyed this episode. Even if I say so myself, I hope you guys enjoyed it too, and I hope you got a lot from it. But this is your reminder. We have agreed, me and you and all the other girlies, we had a meeting, even if you don't remember. And we have agreed to leave the not negotiating back in 2023. We need to negotiate. We need to ask for what we want and we need to own the reasons why we deserve it. Being in the building is never a reason for you to deserve it. Saying to your company, I've been here for years, that's why I should, no, that's not a reason. Everything you bring to the table and all the money you're making them, that's the reason. Even if you haven't worked for them before, you know you're going to make them money, that's the reason. You are selling potential, whether it's a new industry or your current industry. Interview, no one knows how good you will or will not be at a job. So you are always selling potential when you are new to someone. We will be negotiating all 2024. I want to hear about 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Someone to come to me and say, I got a 60K pay rise. I want one of my clients to be able to say to me, Adele, I got a 60K pay rise. Because I've helped people get 40K pay rise. I've helped women double and triple their salaries. So 60K ain't really anything. I want someone to say to me, you know what, Adele, I got a 60K pay rise. Maybe it's one of you guys currently listening. I can't wait to hear all the wins. See you on the next episode. I hope this episode gave you exactly what you needed and motivated you to confidently take steps towards your next career move. If you enjoyed it, screenshot and share it on your socials, tag me on Instagram, and come join my community of amazing women working on leveling up their confidence and career. Thanks for listening and see you next time.